Okay. Thank you, Henrik. Very kind, detailed introduction, and thank you. I'm very much honored to be invited here. Actually, I'm talking about the absence of this 4DH concept, but the meaning of the absence right now today, meaning the huge potential in the future. So I'd like to talk the current situation overall in Japan, especially after the Fukushima disaster 5 years before. It's a big things are changing. And I'm going to the presentation jointly with, afterwards, the Izumi Tanaka with the Royal Danish Embassy in Japan jointly. So this is an overview of the last 50 years, 60 years of the Japanese energy use. We have twice decreasing once everyone knows the Lehman shock. And the other is Fukushima disasters after. So it's a really the huge impact. Actually, we had 52 nuclear power at that time, but currently only 3 nuclear power is running. So 30% electricity lost, but no chaos or no blackout. We can survive. 30% nuclear power go off. So this is also the interesting time the Fukushima disaster happened. Last decade was a so-called explosive growth of the solar, especially solar and wind, renewable kind of revolutions. The Fukushima disaster was just middle of that. So if we didn't have Fukushima disaster, we still very much behind renewable power, and still the government pursue the more nuclears, less renewables. And last 4 years, especially solar PV was also now happening the explosive growth in Japan, and we now are next to China. The annual market is the second largest next to China, and cumulative, the number is almost same as Germany right now. Now almost achieving 40 gigawatt on the last 4 years, because of the very much happening introducing a feed-in tariff exactly after the feed-in 2011 March 11 accident. So the public interest get toward the renewable rush to renewables. And also the electricity is rising up last 4 years, 5%, mostly solar PV. But still the wind power and biomass as renewables is now coming up, right? And then heat. Many Japanese are misunderstanding. Japan is very warm. No heat needed to warm. But actually, Japan is relatively cold. Is almost the same. Like Denmark is almost the same as the middle of Japan. Of course, we have a very tropical island, but north part is much, much colder than Denmark. So this is a very rough, the domestic energy use, except for the transport, the US and Germany and Japan. So we can find Japan's domestic energy use per house is very small than US and even smaller than Germany's. It is because energy efficient. And also we can find that more than 60% are used for space heat and hot water in national average. So we need, of course, heat. So actually, Japan is famous of the energy efficient countries, but the reality is not necessarily true. We don't have such a very warm house, very few. The reality is like that. This is so-called kotatsu, is a traditional warmers. So everyone bring on the even the down jacket in the room. So that is why energy use is very smaller than other countries. The electricity is relatively larger than Germany's because of the space heat. Now we have a very hot bath like countries, so hot water is double of the Germany. Because of the space heat is because these structures. So like the regulation of the insulation is much poorer than other European, even poorer than Korea. But this is a most updated, strict, but not mandate regulations. The reality is much poorer. This new regulation is we have roughly 50 million house in as a stock basis. So this new regulations is only 5%. The much looser regulations is 55. Actually, no insulation house, 40%. If you come to Japan, you must wear in the down jacket in a house. So also the heat device is also disastrous. We have still 25 million so-called oil stove, kerosene stove in that room. This is very contaminating air quality. This is declining, but still very much dominant, especially the local areas. So actually, between the 2005 to 10, 89 people killed because of this kerosene stove in the room. And also, the dominant is 45 million, the so-called air conditioning. So this is more and more increasing with the electrification of the house. So this is a kind of structural reasons of such a poor heat policy. Actually, we don't have a heat policy yet in Japan. So our energy policy in the government policy is actually the policy integrating of the electricity supply policy, gas supply policy, and oil supply policy. So no heat policy yet we don't have. And the policies and also the industry are always top-down view to the market. So those, especially giant, the company is electricity company and gas company, oil company compete how to get the domestic heat market. So our electricity company try to market all electrifying house, and gas companies also the so-called gas fan heaters, gas make warm heat into the room. And even they are like a gas CHP in the room and to producing electricity as well. But oil is historically dominant in the a kerosene stove in especially rural areas. So we need to reconstruct the energy policy from the more user side, electricity, heat, and transport needs. But this is another topics. And also very much poor or no consumer education about how to use the heat or how to insulate the house and those kind of things. So we have a lot of biomass resources all over Japan. We have the 70% covered by the forest, and we have a huge production of the rice. The rice is only self-sufficient food in Japan. And actually, compared to Denmark, we have straw production is about 8 million tons. Denmark is something like 4 million, I guess. And you use 1.5 million tons for energy, but the straw is almost no use for energy yet in Japan. And also the forest compared to Sweden. Actually, the Sweden, the forest areas is almost compatible with Japan. And Sweden is very famous to use the forest energy for the heat and CHP. But Japan is slight use now, but almost no use energy. And also heat market, it is not including the geothermal heat, but both the solar and biomass. Because of the continuous declining solar heat use, so there are some increase of the biomass energy use, but in total heat, renewable heat is decreasing in the Japanese heat market. So district heating in Japan, actually historically Japan has rather early adopters of the district heating in the 1970s. The first two district heating introducing in Osaka, Kansai area and Hokkaido, Sapporo areas. But actually since then, still keep their positions in the energy policy or energy supply is very much marginal and also decreasing continuously. Almost less than 1% of the supply by district heating all over Japanese energy supply. And also the other uniqueness is that cooling demand is larger than heating. This is also another uniqueness of Japan. But this is because the city centers and large-scale building, only the applicable so-called district heating. But district heating is very rare to spread out like Denmark or Sweden and local area. We are more like inside the building, two big buildings connecting each other. Then it is named so-called district heating. So that's why the Tokyo, Yokohama, or Osaka, so-called Sapporo, all cities are so-called metropolitans. So we have district heating and cooling, DHC, is very much dominant in metropolitan areas, but very few in the local areas, and declining. So cooling demand is very much high in the summer and heating in the winters. So cooling demand is much larger than just heating supply. And one example of the Tokyo. So this is one of the highest telecommunication tower in the world, the so-called Tokyo Skytree. So this Tokyo Skytree has a building complex like that. And so this has two buildings, or actually three buildings are connecting. So that's why this is a so-called district heating, or district heating cooling actually. And so this area is covered by one utility, district heating cooling utility, supplying mostly the cooling and some heating in the winters. So this is one of the example. And also in Japan is still the first and second generation, so-called 1DH, 2DH is still very much dominant. This is a Sapporo, Poland, Hane visit this June. So this is summer and this is winter. Very cold climate and very snowy areas. So this part. And this has more area supply network. I didn't translate each small characters, but they have both steam and also hot water, more than 180 and 3 bar hot water supplying, and very marginal hot water, 80 Celsius, and also cooling. So this is very kind of complicated district heating areas. So this is a part of the historically introducing 1970s. So everyone used these figures. So Japan is still dominant of first and second 1DH, 2DH, and some 3DH is now start to introducing. But actually, very few experts are aware about the idea or concept of 4DH. So we are the part of the how to the spread out in academia or the expert to understand this idea to in the field of district heating in Japan. And also even technology is very not advanced. This is like a district heating pipe with very much their on-site built, the steel pipe and double steel pipe, and with some special materials, proving very much the costly and very much poor technologies. But these continue to use last 40 years. So this can be replaced by like a Logostar's type of pipe easily, but but still they are 183 bar, the high temperature. So we need to replace to more lower that heat use actually. And then this is a so-called, since Fukushima disaster 5 years before, local energy interests come up with so-called community powers. So all over Japan is currently 200 community power rising since last 5 years. So people are very much the keen on their own producing their own energy. Starting with solar PV, now people are more interested about use of biomass or even introducing district heat. By the way, this is one of the Fukushima, the community power leader. He is a sake brewers leaders. So sake brewer leaders now producing the renewable electricity, and also he would like to change sake brewer heat into the rice. Like rice husk and also straws. So, but anyway, so then we are starting to work with the Danish so-called State of Green and also the Danish embassy in Japan, and so with the Japan Community Power Network to introducing a more distributed type of energy, and many of the people now starting to coming to see and to learn what is going on in Denmark. And so then like a pilot project jointly starting with the Danish team. One is Shimokawa, is a very small, about 2,000 people living, but surrounded by the forest, and also Ogata village is also the 3,000 people living now at one place, and they are surrounded with a so-called rice field. So, so this is like a plant energy. Did first preliminary study of the Ogata village. So Ogata village is a very large, like an island type, like a Samso Island, very similar. And at one place they are living 3,000 people. So, and they had huge producing a rice husk and also straw. And so we can start with a small scale and then spread out the all 100% the biomass supplying district heating into these areas. And also this is a Shimokawa. Also this is a very concentrated the village, all surrounded by the forest. So this is also start to design of the 100% forest or wood chip, CHP supplying the district heating running. So this is first the starting up of so-called 4DH project in Japan. And then I pass over the more promotion side to Izumi Tanaka.
Great. So, hi, my name is Izumi Tanaka. I'm coming from the Royal Danish Embassy and the Trade Council. I belong to the Foreign Ministry of Denmark. And as Tetsu has talked about district heating in Japan, lack of the 4DH in Japan, but I would like to give a little bit brighter end of the story, because as Tetsu was finishing up. And also we saw the same exact figure in the morning yesterday, where 50% of energy consumption in Europe was heat, I believe. And we heard from Tetsu earlier that 60% in Japan is so. And there was somebody smart enough in Japan to say, okay, we need to do something about that. And also that fact that we're using a lot of kerosene, electricity, which is 90% fossil fuel. So somebody said, okay, we need to do something about it. And we were very lucky to be in touch with Shimokawa and Ogata through Tetsu's network. So opportunities for new installations. Besides those grassroots community power network, we also have the government that is providing initiatives. First one is the Decentralized Energy Infrastructure Project, which is put on by the Ministry of Internal Communications, which is funding 28 municipalities with the plan to install new heat infrastructure. And Ogata and Shimoka, they're both part of this group of 28. And another government initiative that is helping is Biomass Industrial Towns, which there are 44 of them, but 34 of them are saying they want to use biomass for heating. So that's the brighter end of the story, that the government, not only the grassroots activities, but the government also is supporting it. And as Tetsu mentioned about the ancient infrastructure, existing heat infrastructures in Japan, there's opportunity for the upgrade of such. And external competence is definitely needed because it's not there in Japan. So what have we done so far? Me as a trade council, and also together with ICEP, and I must say together with Flex Energy and also Paul from Aalborg University, we've done some of the different things on this topic. One is a market visit by Danish companies, which we did in June 2015, which resulted in a consulting project on district heating, which was Plan Energy. And then I have numerous opportunities to present about 4DH, Danish district heating, at different lectures, and also we've had some booth at the trade shows. So we're trying to, as Tetsu mentioned, even the experts in Japan, or so-called experts that are doing the heat planning, they didn't know anything about 4DH. So we're trying to change that. We're trying to go out there and let them know such exists, and you can come to Denmark to even look at it. And also, we have had numerous Japanese delegations come to Denmark to see the actual 4DH. And that included leaders from municipalities and also business involved in regional development, regional energy development, and also industrial associations that are already working with district heating. And as I mentioned, we worked with Flex Energy. They came in June this year, so just a few months ago, and they have a written analysis of the market. And we are working, we as in me, at the Danish embassy, we're working with ICEP to capture these different community level interests on utilizing heat. So what has all the activities that we have done in Japan this 2 years resulted in? And one is that we have put together a Danish alliance on heat and district heating for Japan. And that alliance has a project manager, which is me. And we're providing insight into existing potential projects, these 28 that are funded by the government, these 34 that's looking into biomass utilization. And also, we're providing further information on concrete identified project opportunities for the companies. And the companies are these companies that I'm working with. I think Kamstrup and Logster and Plan Energy were here. And what we're going to be doing, this is very new. The signing was just done like within this week. So what we're doing is that I'm going to be presenting the alliance at the Renewable Energy Industrial Fair in Fukushima, middle of next month. And also the companies will be visiting Japan to attend EcoPro, which is another exhibition. It's attended by about 150,000 people every year. And also we'll have a seminar highlighting the Forte, the 4DH, different 4DH aspects. Yes. And also we will be visiting the municipalities that are doing the planning of 4DH, and also with existing non-4DH municipalities, so to understand what is the status in Japan on this topic. So, of course, we have already intervened the market. Plan Energy, together with ICEP, is working on designing district heating in municipalities of Ogata and Shimokawa, so that's very good news for us. I'm very glad that this concept is coming into Japan already in a concrete project. And that's a lot of the people that are involved. I see Paul there, and I see Hannah here also, yeah? So, 4DH in Japan, I'm pretty positive. I'm encouraged that maybe next year's conference there'll be somebody from Japan presenting about 4DH in Japan. We were just able to tell you the very beginning of it, but I hope somebody will be here to tell you more about it. But what I would like to say is we really need all of your help to realize this in Japan, because it's just starting. So thank you for your attention.